It's the Orioles on Masson, and we welcome you to Camden Yards for the final game of this three-game set. And for the Orioles, a chance to win their second series of the season as they go into this rubber match against the Mariners. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Thorne. It is day baseball here in Baltimore. And for the Orioles, a chance to get to a ball club, Seattle, that has not been hitting particularly well. And against the King, Felix Hernandez, who over the last three starts has not pitched particularly well. The Orioles will try and take advantage of that. They did the things in last night's ball game that they have not done in a lot of games this season in order to get the win, like double plays, second inning. This took an error off the board. Bases loaded, one out. Good play Tejada and by Atkins at first. Another double play. Then the RBIs coming with runners in scoring position. Tejada picked up two on that hit. And the two-out RBIs, Adam Jones getting that one. That came in the sixth inning. Those are all things that have been done against the Orioles this year, but not many times have they done them. Jim Palmer, they did last night, and they won.
I mean, these two games, the Mariners won the first game. They get a great pitching performance from Cliff Lee. The Orioles come back and win the second game because Bergeson pitches well. In the first game, the Mariners, they made the plays. They had the best base running. They hit the home run. Last night, the Orioles did all of those things, and that's a great formula for winning. Now, obviously, you know, in the rubber match, you got Hernandez against Millwood. We know Millwood, you know, he's pitched better than his record, is 0-4. Hernandez has had 17 straight quality starts on the road. So you got a veteran at 35 against a guy that's 24 who won 19 games last year. This should be a terrific contest.
And the Orioles trying to put the back-to-back wins together. That has been a problem this season. Trying to get to a stack of 2 or 3 or 4. You take a look at what's gone on this year. After a win, the Orioles are 4-5. Their runs go down a bit. The team average up a little bit. The ERA jumps. That has been the problem, getting that good pitching performance after the Orioles have picked up a win to try and get another one.
And I think that's where Kevin Millwood comes in. He said, I can't change anything about other than the way I pitch, and that's what he's going to try to do. Just give him a real solid start today.
And he certainly deserves to get one. He has pitched well enough. And on our Covering the Bases, Will Ullman is the man that we're not only going to be looking at but listening to. And let me tell you, you're going to have some fun.
You have to have some levity. Did I just do the... We sniffed a lot of glue. 8 paint chips. That came out wrong. I guess you can call my family funny. I don't know. I could be psychotic. I don't know what it is.
Baseball on Masson is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Go to southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on. After 2 games played in the rain here in this series, partly cloudy skies, a little sun trying to come through here today. It's 56 degrees at game time and a lot of youngsters on hand as a lot of schools had field trips to the ballpark today here at Camden Yards. We welcome all the kids for the ball game. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for Seattle. Brought to you by Southwest Airlines. It'll be Ichiro, Figgins, and Kochman, Sweeney, Lopez, and Langerhans, Wilson, Johnson, and Saunders. Ichiro against Millwood. What new? Another high average against another pitcher.
And our scouting report on Kevin Millwood, 7 starts, 17 runs of support. Not very much, obviously. He's pitched well here at Camden Yards, though you can see the record 0-1. And against the M's since 2007, recent history, even though most of those games were the Rangers, 1-8 since 2007. But again, this year pitching extremely well. Nothing to show for it.
And Ichiro will lead it off, and we are underway. Ichiro with the 4-game hit streak. He's had a 4 for 8 in this series. 1-0 delivery. You saw the numbers against Millwood. That one to left. Corey Patterson is out there, and he's got it, and Ichiro's retired.
Let's take a look at our defense. Corey Patterson called up yesterday. He's in left. Jones at center. Markakis in right. Tejada is Turris. Wigington. Ryan Hughes back in the lineup after Garrett Atkins has played the last 2 games against left-handed pitching. Craig Tatum with Matt Wieters getting the afternoon off.
Kevin Millwood gets the first out. First innings have been very good for him, as he has given up no runs and only 2 hits in the first innings of his start so far this year. That is taken for a strike. Figgins continues to struggle at the plate with that 190 batting average. Still second in walks in the American League. He's had a couple of hits and 8 at-bats in the first 2 games of this series. He'll slash that one for a souvenir and an 0-2 count.
And a couple of soft singles to left. One got a run in that got Brad Bergeson out of the game, and then a soft single on Tuesday night. He's hitting about 100 points under his lifetime batting average. Not what they expected.
He has the lowest batting average in the American League against right-handed pitchers. And he will take the strike on the inside corner. Millwood slices the plate with that one, and there are 2 down.
Kevin Millwood, he pitched with Greg Maddux, who is the master of starting the 2-seamer at the left-hander and having it run back, nicely presented by Craig Tatum. I'm not sure with Angel Hernandez, who's, as we look at our H. Greg Exmo, and that's, again, you got Angel Hernandez, who's a Questec umpire, that he's going to make you throw it over the plate.
Our Exmo brought to you by H. Greg. We make buying TVs and appliances simple. H. Greg, price and advice guaranteed. Here's Kochman. Kochman in because he's got 7 hits and 19 at-bats against Millwood, including 3 home runs. Kochman's looking for a way to get over the Mendoza line right now, as he's hitting at 198, and the month of May so far has not helped his cause. He's hitting .69, 2 for 29 in the month of May, the 3rd lowest batting average in the league this month. 2-0 count on Kochman. Millwood looking for the 1-2-3 first inning, and that will miss, and he goes 3-0.
He did get a hit, though, something he doesn't do very often. He's only got 3 hits and 26 at-bats, and he got that hit off of Will Ullman last night. Ullman coming in only to face Kochman, then left the game.
3-0 delivery on the way, and Craig strike called. He wanted to draw the walk and head down to first base, but Angel Hernandez pulled him back in. Orioles have had only 1 series win on the season. They have lost 8 and tied 1. Chance today to get that 2nd series under their belt. Down to first base. Hughes is there. Good comeback by Millwood. And as he has done so often this year, he retires the side in order. Orioles lineup when we come back. Southwest starting lineup for the Orioles. It'll be Patterson, Jones, and Markakis. Tejada, Wigginton, and Scott. Hughes, Tatum, and Asturias. Against Hernandez, Nick Markakis, an incredible 13 for 26.
Yeah, great numbers against the King. That's what they call him. 3-game losing streak, though, so maybe he's kind of down to what a Prince 4-0 at the yard in the last start. Gave up 8 runs. So, again, a very, very accomplished pitcher, only 24 years old in the big leagues at 19 years and 118 days. He can pitch. Great stuff.
Very short outing. Last outing against the Angels, he lasted only 3 1/3 innings, giving up the 8 runs on 5 hits. Gets the ground ball to first base. Corey Patterson at 1 for 5 in the openers retired.
Now take a look at the defense behind Felix Hernandez here at Camden Yards. Saunders, Langerhans, and Ichiro, pretty good outfield. Lopez, who moves from second to third this year. Josh Wilson, Jack on the disabled list with a hamstring problem. Figgins, Kochman, now into his 215th game without an error. And then Rob Johnson, who does a very, very good job of calling the game behind the plate. Big hit on Tuesday night for the Mariners.
5-game hit streak for Adam Jones as he stands in. They have all been singles. Adam hasn't had an extra base hit since April 30. But he'll take the singles because they're pushing up the average total now. He's hitting at 245. 4 doubles, 3 homers, and 8 RBIs on the year. And as Dave Tremblay said before the game today, he's much more comfortable back in that number 2 spot as opposed to trying to be that leadoff batter, which really just does not suit who he is. See the most hits from the number 2 spot, the Orioles. The home runs, 8 of them. Then Boston tied with them. Pedroia had that great home run start for the Red Sox. 2-1.
And if you think it's just easy moving slots of the lineup, just ask Dustin Pedroia, who won the MVP 2 years ago. He had trouble leading off last year. This year, because of injuries, they asked him to hit third. Not comfortable. Back to second. I don't care how good you are. If you mess with a hitter's head, or he thinks he has to do a little bit more than he has to do, certainly can complicate things.
Jones takes it inside, and a 3-ball, 2-strike count. This is the second time the Orioles have seen Felix Hernandez this year. He had a 4-1 win. Complete game. 1 run, 9 hits. Struck out 6 and walked none in the ball game on April 21 in Seattle. Don Wakamatsu's team hoping Hernandez can get out of that 3-game slide. They need him to win games. 3-2 delivery, and he'll get Jones the tag put on.
Yeah, he's got great stuff, and he can pitch anywhere from 91 with a good sinker, get it up to 97 every once in a while. Good breaking ball. Changeup's almost 90 miles per hour. His changeup is faster than Ryan Roland Smith, who started last night for him. So you get Cliff Lee, you get a little bit of a break, you take advantage of it, and now all of a sudden you have a guy that was second in the Cy Young voting last year in the American League.
Here's Nick Markakis. You hit who you face. That ball is fouled off. Nick has certainly done it against Hernandez. An amazing 13 for 26 lifetime for Markakis off Felix Hernandez. Nick is up the average to that 302 mark. 2 down, nobody on here. The 0-1 delivery, and that's to center field. Hit hard, but Langerhans is there and hauls it in. So both pitchers start with 1, 2, 3 innings. 1 complete in our day game. No score. and so does Luke Scott have the 6. Our Luna doubles board as we go to the second. That'll bring up Mike Sweeney. Sweeney in as the designated hitter. He too in because of the numbers that he has against Millward. He's 5 for 18 off Kevin. And the pitch is going to miss outside for a ball, hitting only 176 on the year.
Yeah, 0 for 4 against the Orioles this year. 11 lifetime home runs. Of course, he's played for 16 years.
1-0 delivery on the way. Sweeney will ground it to short. Is Torres. One down.
Take a look again at last year, of course, a winning record with a very low ERA for the Rangers. In fact, the lowest earned run average ever in Arlington for the Rangers. And then, of course, look at the runs he gets. So he wins 13 games. This year, a little bit different. Again, 2.3 runs. You got to be perfect. He hasn't been perfect. But like he said, I got to be a little better. I'm going to try to do that.
Only 12 runs scored while he's been in the ball game in the 7 starts that he's made. Only Zach Greinke has the lower ERA without a win so far this season. Oliver Perez of the Mets, Ian Snell, Felipe Paulino of Houston. That ball underneath it, Jones. He's got it. Lopez is retired. 2 down here. And these are guys who are all but begging for some runs, especially Greinke and Millwood with those exceptional earned run averages. And then we saw Snell last night. He's trying to get his starting role back with Seattle. Worked out of the bullpen last night. And Kevin with 12 runs while in the ball game.
Yeah, Greinke's trying to. Kansas City will come in Monday and Tuesday. They've lost, what, 5 and 7 in a row, I guess. And he's pitching today, and then he'll come back and I think pitch against the Orioles. But Millwood probably get him again.
Yeah, Millwood's going to get Greinke. That'll be an interesting matchup. Maybe both of them will pick up their first wins today. 0-1 count, 2 down. Ryan Langerhans. Langerhans has had a 3 for 7 in this series, getting the start in center field. Franklin Gutierrez continues out of the lineup today. Wakamatsu would hope to be able to play him, but the back spasms are still bothering him a bit. So rather than chance it, they kept him out of the lineup, and obviously that's a break for the Orioles because you're talking about their best bat right now.
Yeah, I think Don would like to have maybe Langerhans playing somewhere else, and because he's had a pretty good series. A home run on Tuesday, a couple of hits last night, swinging the bat well. But the great thing about being a veteran like Kevin Millwood is you get to watch those at bats. You know, Michael Saunders is, he's hitting in the bottom of the lineup. He's got some low fastballs that hit, so you try to stay out of those areas and stay out of harm's way, so to speak.
1-2 delivery on the way. Langerhans will take it outside. A 2-ball, 2-strike count. Kevin Millwood, opponents hitting 257 off him. The left-handers 279. Right-handers 237. Kevin's given up 7 home runs this season, 4 to lefties. He's got 2 down here, nobody on. 2-2, and got him. The second strikeout of the ball game, and retires the side in order again. Orioles with Tejada leading it off. Coming up.
having a little speed can help, Gary.
And that ball is going to be taken in the air to short. First pitch to Tejada. He's retired. Wilson there to get it. One down in the second inning.
Well, Corey Patterson will add some speed. Of course, you got to get on, but just about everybody else, you have to hit and run if you're going to try to advance runners. There's just not a lot of speed on the ball club. Markakis, first year in the big leagues, 18 home runs, stole 6 last year. Talk all you want about stealing bases, but nobody seems to be overly aggressive. You know, the only one that really made some strides was Felix P.A., who actually was attempting to steal in spring training, of course, getting on all kinds of time.
Here's Ty Wigginton. Wigginton, a 3-game hit streak coming into this. He's had a hit in each of the last 2 in this series, 2 for 8. Ty continues second in the league in home runs. Fooled by that pitch, but it misses inside. Second in homers, 4th in slugging percentage in the American League. And off this starter, Wigginton has a home run. He's 3 for 9 with 1 dinger. Hard slider's going to miss down, and a 2-ball 1-strike count. Hernandez, a lot of ground balls, a lot of double plays. Orioles will have to contend with that if they can get runners on against him. 2-1 delivery. Wigginton hits it hard. Saunders over. That's going to be a base hit. Mr. Consistency stays at it. 4-game hit streak for Ty Wigginton.
Yeah, he's just not missing a whole lot of mistakes, if you want to call him that. Anything in the middle of the plate, hitters count. And again, inside middle. I mean, he's looking for a fastball. Anytime a guy throws 91 to 97, that's what you're looking for. Hope he hangs a breaking ball, and he just spanks it into left.
Luke Scott said it was like a cool drink of water after walking in the hot desert. The home run.
Then he added another hit. He got to the oasis on that one.
2 for 4. He's got a 3-game hit streak coming in. Hitting at an even 200 right now. 6 doubles, 5 home runs for the extra base hits for him. And there are the numbers over that 3-game hit streak.
Well, the type of hitter, though, when he does get hot, and he had a tremendous first half last year that can really carry a club. Staying hot has been the problem. And this year, maybe even just getting hot.
He was 3 for 18 lifetime. Felix Hernandez. Told you about the big numbers Hernandez has in this ballpark with a 4-0 mark. His ERA here at Camden Yards is 2.84. 4-0. This is his 6th career start in this ballpark. Wigginton a very short lead. 1-1 delivery going. Luke Scott off the end of the bat. Lopez, third baseman. Nice catch. And gets it to second to make sure Luke Scott doesn't advance. Basket catch over the shoulder by Jose Lopez.
Yeah, and heads up running by Wigginton. I mean, Lopez, again, a second baseman last year. They moved him to third with Beltry going as a free agent to the Red Sox. And then the snap throw. And I mean, this ball is not going to be a base hit because it's in foul territory, but you get your out to a home run guy. And then Wigginton tags up and he makes a very accurate throw. But you could see last night home runs for Luke Scott on fastballs. And what does Felix do? He throws some changeups at 89 miles per hour, gets him to pop up.
Here is Ryan Hughes hitting now at 237. Hughes gets the start at first base in the ball game. Left-handers have not done well against Felix Hernandez. 246 this year. Right-handers 263. 6 home runs, 5 by right-handers. Runner on at first, no score, 2 down. The 0-1 delivery to him. And that's going to miss. And a 1-ball, 1-strike count.
Yeah, I always thought I like to pitch against lefties because when you're right-handed, and the first thing when you start your windup and you turn towards home plate is you see the glove. When you face right-handers, you see the batter. And it makes it a little more difficult. Even though they tell you not to throw off the hitter, to throw to the glove. You do see that hitter much more when it's righty versus righty and lefty versus lefty.
Hughes has had just 1 hit in his last 11 at-bats. Coming off the road trip, this is his first appearance in this series. Wigginton at first with the lead. Trying to jump on that fastball, fouled it right straight back. The amount of miles accumulated in the course of a game by Felix Hernandez would be interesting to measure. He takes walks after every pitch. Front of the mound, little circle, goes to first, goes to third, goes to the back, gets back up on the hill. He spends a good deal of slow energy after pitches. Here's the 2-2 delivery on the way. That's going to be taken away and up high. Little groundwork out there. Dave Tremblay said our job today is to put a dent in the Kings' armor.
Yeah, there we go. 17 straight quality starts. That means 6 innings or more, 3 runs or less. It's not a great ERA, but in the modern baseball world, 450 is not that bad.
3-ball, 2-strike count here. They'll play behind Wigginton. Runner goes and got him. So Hernandez gets his second strikeout. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on to complete our day game. No score. Air suspended.
Yeah, a little wiffle ball right here.
It's tough. That's tough. Not as tough as trying to hit his pitches, but almost. Wilson, Johnson, and Saunders coming up. Josh Wilson, a couple of hits, 7 at-bats in the series. Playing it short for Jack Wilson, who has been put on the DL with the problem in the back of the knee ligament. They're calling it a hammy thing. 1-0 delivery from Millwood. The football yard was right across the street, so it's very convenient for the night games in the summer. And they had a picket fence on the yard that was adjacent, so it was a home run fence. It was a great ballpark. It was. We kept the lawns mowed. That'll be inside. And a 3-0 count on the leadoff batter. Millwood retires 69% of leadoff batters. Good number, and he's retired the first 2. He's unhappy with himself right now for falling behind here 3-0 on Josh Wilson. The background noise today will sound very much like an Olympic event. You know how Olympics have that constant sound that goes on? Every event sounds the same. Came back, got the fly ball to center. Jones. So Millwood recovers from the 3-0 start and gets the out. Cleveland Indians are coming to town. The Indians are 10th right now in average, 13th home runs. Runners in scoring position, a good number. Their ERA in the middle of the pack, 13 and 18, third in the Central. Right now, Chu at 308, their leader offensively with 4 home runs and 19 RBIs for Sin-Soo Choo.
Yeah, well, he had a terrific year last year, but I kind of taped the last 2 games, and Russell Branyan, who had 31 home runs for the Mariners, hit 3 with 5 RBIs in the last 2 games after not hitting one up until Tuesday.
They'll be contending with that bat. Jeremy Guthrie opens tomorrow night against Justin Masterson, who's 0-3. Guthrie 1-4. Brian Mattis against Mitch Talbot Saturday, and Sunday afternoon David Hernandez and Jake Westbrook against the Indians. Rob Johnson, 0-1 delivery to him. That's in there for a strike. Johnson a couple of hits, 4 at-bats in this series. Kevin Millwood has faced him and given up 3 hits and 8 at-bats, including a home run by Johnson against him.
Johnson got a big hit off of David Hernandez. He was 1 for 16 with runners in scoring position. Hit a single in the left.
Too short is Turris. A pick over there by Hughes. 2 down. On Sunday, Baltimore's hottest new address returns. 2110 Utah Street, presented by Home Savings of America and Southwest Airlines. One price, and it's low. You get the Utah Street bleacher seat, the 2110 Utah Street t-shirt. You get special promotions, prizes, and more. The space is limited. 888-848-BIRD to go to Orioles.com for 2110. We thank the guys for looking this way so we could shoot them and get the address right. 2 down, nobody on. Here's number 9 hitter, Saunders, Michael Saunders. He's in left field, and he's had a 2 for 8 in this series as well.
Yeah, loves the ball, inner half, thigh high. And big kid. I mean, he's about 6'4". As we mentioned a couple of nights ago, coming from British Columbia. He does know Adam Lowen. He sees him a couple times a year. So they competed against each other. Adam Lowen, the bonus pitcher the Orioles signed, now with Toronto as an outfielder.
He was on skates playing hockey. He must have been an enormous human being. Here's the 1-1 delivery. Looked like Jeff Pronger. Somebody that size on skates tends to look about 12 feet tall.
And then, of course, he played a sport that is really played so often here with lacrosse. A lot of the lacrosse powers very close to Baltimore.
1-2 delivery on the way.
Good.
And on the inside corner. These 2 pitchers have started out like a house of fire. 3 strikeouts, Millwood. He's retired 9 in a row. And covering the bases with Will Oman. You saw his wife Allison there. Those were twins. They were born in November of 2005, Annabelle and Jack. And that's why he loves being home with the 2 twins. I guess if you have twins, it's probably 2 of them.
At least. At least 2.
At least 2 if they were twins, yeah. Okay, good. Little superfluous there. 2-0 delivery on the way, and that'll be taken for a strike. Greg Tatum doing the catching. Tatum getting his 6th start. Day games are always fun. My mind comes alive about 5 or 6. So during the day, I never know. Just kind of listen, see what he says.
Yeah, I mean, the normal game is what, 1:35? It's even an hour worse today.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. There aren't enough Cheerios in the world.
Well, yeah, it's really kind of like a B game where they leave you back and you'd be pitching at noon or 11:30 during spring training. Of course, you wouldn't be facing Felix Hernandez or Kevin Millwood. I once did one of those, and I pitched against Tommy John, and there were about 14 people in the stands. I beat him 1-0.
Was your arm okay after the game?
Oh, you mean Tommy John surgery? Yeah. No, I mean the Tommy John. Oh, yeah. Look at that breaking ball.
3 strikeouts now, Hernandez. These two just matching each other.
Well, Don Wakamatsu, the skipper of the Mariners, said that, former catcher, said that about 2 starts ago he had some back stiffness. And, came out of spring training with really good stuff, and you could see what happened early on and against the Orioles. And the Orioles would like to have him go back to when he was 19 when he first got to the big leagues, but that's not the case. He's 24. And the Mariners are hoping he gets on one of those runs. Last year, after May 24th, 15 out of 17 games he won on the way to 19-5 record. He can get you out so many different ways.
Cesar Izturis has not had a hit in the series. He's 0 for 6. Has picked up an RBI sac fly, though. 211 batting average. In at third base, Lopez, in case he tries to lay one down. Orioles with the 1-hit Wigginton single. Those have won 4 of their last 10 ball games, while Seattle's won only 2 of their last 10. Seattle on the road trip that begins here. They will continue against Tampa Bay. They've got 3 against the Rays, and then they'll go to Oakland and play the dreaded 2-game series before returning home. The Orioles, of course, get Cleveland in for 3, Kansas City for 2.
And then down to Texas and interleague from Washington.
2 ball, 2 strike count. 9-10 if they can get on the board first. 1-14 when the opponent does.
Yeah, usually the team that scores first, the major league average is around 60%. And it tells you the Orioles obviously struggling.
Right place, right time, good catch. 2 ball, 2 strike count. Just happen to be standing there. Son, there you go. He literally had just stood up. Ball came to him and he caught it. Count stays 2 balls and 2 strikes on Izturis with Corey Patterson, leadoff batter, waiting.
And if you're wondering why Felix Hernandez is as good as he is, it's because everything he throws. I mean, the curveball is about as good as it gets. The sinker is one of the best in baseball. He's got a great changeup, and he usually can make awfully good pitches.
Last 3 outings, a very short innings pitched. 3 1/3, 4 1/3, and then 7 against Kansas City when he lost. He lost to KC, Texas, and the Angels in those last 3 games. So he's really trying to rebound here. He hadn't lost 3 games in a row for a couple of years, and wants to get that ship righted right now. Home runs have been a problem. He allowed a career high 3 home runs in that last start against the Angels. 3 ball, 2 strike count on Izturis. Hernandez up high and surrenders the walk. The Orioles get 1 on, 1 down. Tomorrow, don't miss the first fireworks night of the season after the Cleveland game. Stick around. You'll see a lot of great fireworks lighting up the skies here at Camden Yards. Every Friday's AT&T Student Night. Left field upper reserve seats, only $6 with a valid ID. 888-BIRD or Orioles.com for details. Fireworks tomorrow. One problem Hernandez has had, the walks. He's 7 on the list and most walks surrendered in the league. That's the 21st walk in 46 innings pitched. So as Izturis is on and Patterson, who grounded out, is up.
Yeah, I see a little extra thing in his windup. He kind of almost looks like Louis Tion, where he'll turn, just overturn a little bit, and then he gets going sideways. Still throws hard, but can he command well? Certainly did there.
Barry Patterson came back to the Orioles with a 1 for 5 in the ball game last night. Speed evident on the base paths in the very first game. 268 ball games total now with the Orioles. Most of those played back in the 06 and 07 seasons when last he was here. He was signed on April 21, so he's made his way up here in a hurry by hitting .368 in 14 games at Norfolk. Oh, on delivery to him down to first base, played by Kochman, relay over to first. Boy, there's a major league double play. You got to do everything right with Patterson running, and that is exactly what they did. Double play will end the inning, and we remain after 3 scoreless at Camden Yards.
All 4 wheels and spread them throughout the stadium. And then there was, luckily there was a camera crew to video that and keep it for posterity. I had to pitch the 4th inning. I spent the first 3 innings trying to find my wheels so I could go home at a reasonable time.
The efforts players will go to. Covering the bases with Will Ullman. Here is Ichiro, flied out his first time up. Will has been around with the Cubs, the Braves, the Dodgers, now here. And I got to believe the pranksters that he's encountered and that have encountered him.
Just a room with Manny.
Could be a book, yeah. How about that? Now there's a combo. Manny Ramirez and the old man, Will Ullman. 0-2 delivery. Ichiro hits it twice.
Yeah, that's a 2-stroke penalty in golf, but not in baseball here.
You see the left-hander for the Orioles, 8th-round pick out of Pepperdine. He said, I got into baseball doing it back door. He was a walk-on at Pepperdine, redshirted freshman year, and a prospect his junior season. He's had to go through 4 surgeries, including Tommy John in 2002, so he's paid a physical price for staying in the ballgame. That's up high by Kevin Millwood, and a 1-ball, 2-strike count on Ichiro. Ichiro starting the day, 8th in the American League in batting average. League is led by Miguel Cabrera, hitting at .372 with the Tigers. Twins have a couple in the top 10, Justin Morneau and Maui. That's going to be a very tough play, backhanded Wigginton. That's a base hit for Ichiro. He's the leader in infield hits, and he adds another.
Yeah, there's no way, even if you catch this, and I mean, he's already at the box, probably about 5 steps, 6 steps down the line, and you can see him zooming down the base path. And again, if you go back to the last game where Millwood and Hernandez hooked up, the 4th inning is where the Mariners got 4 runs against Kevin. And a couple of walks in that inning. So again, Ichiro, he could steal bases. He stole one last night, his 10th of the year. Figgins with 8.
Out of the stretch, Millwood will work to Figgins, who struck out his first time up. Tejada moves in at third base. Throw over. Trying to get a look to see whether Figgins might lay one down. You see the numbers for the Mariners much better in regard to working the pitchers. The number at 395 doesn't look that much different, but it ends up being significant against starters. Beautiful bunt. Tatum's got to go to first, and will get the out. You stayed back to take the throw. A sacrifice. Ichiro down to second base.
Well, it tells you something about what Don Wakamatsu thinks about his starter. But you don't need a whole lot of runs. That and the fact that he doesn't have a great offensive team, especially with Gutierrez not playing. And they bunt. They give you an out, which I always kind of liked in a 0-0 ball game. Maybe because of the numbers Kochman, even though he's been struggling, has against Millwood.
Yeah, Kochman gets the RBI chance. He does have a good number with runners in scoring position. He's hitting .320. Exact opposite of his .196 overall average. And he will take the pitch on the inside corner. So the first base runner, Ichiro, on at second against Millwood. Holding him close will be his tourist behind him, because he has great speed, and the outfield has to play fairly deep with Kochman having some power. Down to third and foul.
Yeah, Kevin Millwood, the numbers, and of course, whether you're a hitter or a pitcher, it's how do you pitch in the clutch. 265 with runners in scoring position, a couple of points lower than the league average. Felix Hernandez, on the other hand, they're hitting 200 with runners in scoring position, which is usually the RISP is about 268 a year for teams in the American League.
0-2 delivery on the way. Millwood has been much tougher with runners on base working out of the stretch. Overall, just 227 as opposed to 280 when they're empty and he's in the windup. So he has been able to bear down and get the big outs. He's had to do that. Still looking for that first win, and you know every time somebody gets on like Ichiro here, he realizes he has very little room to maneuver in light of the fact so few runs have been scored for him. 1 ball, 2 strike delivery on the way. Kochman will lift that one in the air to left. Ichiro will play it halfway. Patterson's got it. Second big out. Time for our AT&T Mobility Trivia question. The oldest player to play for the Orioles. Dizzy Trout, Harold Baines, Jesse Orozco, or Rick Dempsey? Who is the oldest player? I'll guess Orozco.
Well, yeah, it's either him or Harold. Harold came back at the end of his career. Rick Dempsey played till he's 42, but it wasn't with the Orioles. Played with the Dodgers.
And the answer is
Rick Dempsey. Okay, we're never right.
No, well, we're used to that, though.
Well, we were close. We had one of the 4.
We did have one of the 4, and I mean, it's not that easy getting one out of 4.
Okay.
By the way, I hope Rick is listening, because Carmen had a message I had to pass on to you.
Carmen?
2 down, Carmen Fusco.
Oh, okay.
Do something with your hair, he said. Now, I'm just passing that on. Okay? So I've done my job. I said I would do that.
Okay.
I passed it on.
You mean like hairspray?
So you go see him. He's here in the ballpark somewhere, Rick. You can find him.
Styling gel?
Styling gel or something. I don't know what the problem is.
Hairpiece?
Yeah.
No, he doesn't need it.
No. Oh, God, no.
A rug?
He's got all kinds of hair.
Hurricane rug?
I don't know. I don't know. Carmen's a good friend, and he passed that along as a suggestion to someone he cares about. So what can I say? 1-0 count, 2 down. Sweeney grounded out his first time up.
It is an early day game after a night game.
Any game after a night game that occurs while the sun might shine is dangerous. Sweeney hitting at 171, trying to get an RBI here. Millwood trying to get the third out. He gets the strike, 1-1.
Well, I asked
14 runners in scoring position.
I asked Ken Griffey Jr. I said, can you play on a day game when you don't play the night after you played in a night game? And the answer apparently is no.
Apparently.
Because Mike Sweeney's
he's
the DA. Yeah.
1-1 delivery. Sweeney has led the charge in the clubhouse to boycott the writer that wrote the story about Griffey sleeping.
Yeah, Larry LaRue of
a highly respected writer, I must say.
Well, I think he did exactly what he was supposed to do as a writer, as a journalist. I think Mike Sweeney's point was, if somebody really said it, stand up and tell me who it was.
But that hasn't got anything to do with a writer.
No, you're right. They're two entirely different things.
But he's leading the boycott of the players not talking to the writer,
which is
wrong.
I don't go with that.
And if I'm the Baseball Writers Association, I pull everybody out of that clubhouse until it gets taken care of. They don't mind having the publicity. And then they pull some stunt like this. 2-ball, 2-strike count. Runner on at second base and just missed.
Well, you get an idea today how good Kevin Millwood it is when, and I'm not throwing, pitching. I mean, ball's right off the outside corner, and if we go to our pitch track, of course, the only guy that counts is Angel Hernandez. That was a strike. But I mean, just a ball on the outer edge. I mean, just working and trying to stay out of the middle of the plate.
3-2 delivery, and as a result of not getting that call, a walk, and the inning extended here. That's the first walk surrendered by Millwood in the ballgame.
Well, that's a scoreboard walk, because you see Ichiro, you know you're not getting a lot of runs, you know exactly who you're pitching against. Yes, you have to get Seattle out, but you know that Hernandez is not going to give up a lot of runs. He may ultimately do that, but you can't anticipate that.
So in this scoreless ball game with 2 down here in the 4th inning, Lopez, who flied out to center field, will stand in. He's just 186 with runners in scoring position.
But he's hit Kevin well. I mean, it came in at, 15 for 49.
He's got a 306 average of him. He didn't like that call. It is a strike to him.
Well, it's just a batter late. That ball was outside. He'll take it, though. It's nicer to be 0-1 than it is 1-0, unless you're Jose Lopez.
Off the end of the bat, shattered the bat. Tejada, and will get the out. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 2 are left on base. We are still scoreless. Combo Wendy's to get a scratch and scorecard. Win great prizes from the Orioles and Wendy's. Wendy's, you know when it's real. With Jim Palmer and Amber Theo Harris, with the sun coming out, and Gary Thorne. And as expected, a well-pitched ball game. Each team only 1 hit so far. A couple left on by the Mariners and 1 for the Orioles. Wigginton a single, the only O's hit. Ichiro a single, the only one off Millwood. Felix Hernandez with a breaking ball to Adam Jones. Jones struck out his first time up. One 0 and a check swing is going to be a strike on the outside corner. Hernandez in the 7 starts he's made, the Mariners have won 4 and lost 3. He is 1-0 this year against the Orioles and 5-3 lifetime against them. Jones will take that one in the dirt. 2 ball, 1 strikeout. If Adam has made any improvement that's really helped, it's staying off that pitch.
Yep.
We talked about it last night, and there he does it again there.
Well, he's just waiting. I mean, he's trying to hit the ball more up the middle and not around it, through it.
Gets one to hit, goes to third. Lopez. 1-out.
Well, there's that ground ball and the result of the two-seam fastball. It just runs in, and of course it also goes down a little bit because of the arm angle, and he has a good swing. It just, that's what the sinker does. We saw Brad Bergeson do that all night long last night. It looked like you have a pretty good swing. You pound it into the ground.
Nick Markakis in this series for the Orioles. He's 3 for 9 over the longer haul. Nick coming in hitting .360 over the last 19 games. He's had 9 multi-hit ball games during that stretch, as he has really picked the pace up at the plate. Nick hitting .341 right now in the month of May.
Well, he's changed his stance, but he hasn't changed his approach. You know, last time we saw him chasing balls out of the zone early, but he very rarely does that. You know, got the hand, his bat's on his shoulder, bat's back a little bit, able to trigger the bat a little bit quicker.
Off the end of the glove, not close on any of those, and the count goes to 3-0. Hernandez has walked one and struck out 3 in the ball game.
But do you let him swing away if you're Dave Tremblay right here? You got to really know your hitters.
He'll take it, and it is ball 4. He had to make sure. So 2 walks in the ball game by Hernandez. Join Orioles Reach on the Maryland Food Bank 24th annual Orioles Food Drive, June 4, 5, and 6. You can bring donations, non-perishable food items to the park that weekend, and you can go on the virtual food drive at marylandfoodbank.org/Orioles. You can enter there to win some great prizes, maybe throw out a first pitch. Goes to the soup kitchens, food pantries, and shelters all over Maryland. Get info 888-848-BIRD at marylandfoodbank.org/Orioles. Here's Tejada, who will take it for a strike. Miggy went after the first pitch in the second inning. He saw it, popped it up. Runner on at first with 1 away.
Yeah, this is the situation where, again, as Amber Theo Harris said, the Orioles with 9 stolen bases, been caught 8 times, not running a lot. And, of course, Hernandez is hard to run off. Maybe hit and run if you get into one of those counts. But, again, he gets ahead quickly 0-2, knee-high fastball.
Orioles have hit into 40 double plays, including the one in this ball game. That's 2 behind Minnesota. While Hernandez came in tied for 4th in creating double plays. He now has 8 ground ball double plays this season. 0-2 the count. Tejada will have to protect here. Wigginton on deck. That's going to get away, and that will move Markakis down to second base. Wild pitch charge, the 4th of the year by Felix Hernandez.
Well, this is just a changeup that gets under Rob Johnson's glove. It's a ball that he normally blocks. The ball went down, and anytime it hits the dirt, but again, I don't think that bounced that far out in front of him. Normally he'll just block it, keep it in front of him, so a nice break for the Orioles.
Now a runner in scoring position with only 1 away. And that ground ball double play chance eliminated.
Yeah, you'd think it would give you at least 2 shots to get him in.
He fouled off to Juan Samuel.
There's that 2-seamer again. And again, it has change up there, but at 91 miles per hour. So he just turns over the change up. That, as we said, Ryan Roland Smith, 89 last night. His changeup is harder than his fastball. Tells you what kind of stuff this kid has.
1 ball, 2 strike count. Markakis good lead at second. Tejada swings and foul, tips it. So he holds that count at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Tejada trying to drive in a run here and put the Orioles on top in a ball game that certainly looks like the runs are going to be few and far between. Miggy's been outstanding with that .323 average with runners in scoring position for the Orioles. He and Nick Markakis are the only 2 Orioles over 300 in that department this year. Oh, look out.
Bat or arm?
Hit the bat, apparently. And a protecting, not even a swing, just get out of the way.
There's a T-swing. You can see, look at the spin on that ball. I think, yeah, it's the handle of the bat. Well, with 2 strikes, if you're Miguel Tejada, you don't walk a whole lot anyway. As we mentioned last night, 5 times all year, you're trying to protect that outside corner. So that fastball, when you're diving, that's what you have to do. He's running right in at you.
He is the 3rd most difficult batter to strike out in the American League, Miguel Tejada. And a chopper. Runner's going to go to 3rd. Play's going to go to 1st. Tejada's retired. 2 down. Markakis moves over to 3rd base. And that will bring up Ty Wigginton. Well, this is exactly where the Orioles want Wigginton to be hitting. Runner at 3rd, 2 away. He has a .370 batting average when there are 2 down in the inning and he comes up. So if he can get some of that done, the Orioles can get a run. Highest batting average with 2 outs in the American League: Joe Mauer, Delman Young, Swisher, Brett Gardner, Jeremy Hermida, and Ty Wigginton. Top 5. He will take that down low for a ball. Wigginton has already singled in the ball game, so he now has a 4-game hit streak. Trying to get Markakis in from 3rd base. .1-0 delivery to him. Next home run, Wigginton will tie the homers that he had all of last year. He's got 10 right now. He's been the RBI power source for the Orioles so far. .1-1 delivery. Wigginton punches it. That's going to be a base hit, and he gets it done. Markakis scores, and the Orioles have a 1-0 lead.
So now 11 for 28 with 2 outs. He gets a hanging curveball and does exactly what sometimes you have to do, which is just fight it off. I mean, look at it hang. I mean, inside out stroke. I mean, it's pretty much what Wigginton's done all year long. Just hit the ball all over the field. So again, the wild pitch, huge, or a pass ball or whatever it should have been, but it gets the runner into the 2nd base and then eventually on the ground out by Tejada. So there's your run, Kevin.
21 RBIs for Wigginton. Here's Luke Scott. He popped out to Lopez at 3rd on a fine play. Well, the Orioles get the 1-0 lead here in the 4th inning. And a leadoff, a 1-out walk rather, created the opportunity. Markakis getting it. Moved up on that wild pitch, and then a single brings him home.
And you're hoping that just maybe that soft single is going to unnerve Hernandez. I mean, he's only 24 and he's very good. But again, you lose your focus when you're in this type of ball game. That's all the Orioles need. He makes a mistake of Luke Scott. Certainly capable of hitting one out of here. And all of a sudden you have yourself a lead. And for Kevin Noah, that'd be like, scoring them 10.
You got to be the psyche for Hernandez a little iffy right now in light of the fact he's lost those 3 games in a row, had 2 very short outings. 2-0 delivery, and that's going to be a fastball that he reared back on and missed, and he falls behind 3-0 on Scott.
Well, once again, another 3-0 count. And I would imagine he has the green light. Doesn't mean he's going to swing. He's an awfully good fastball hitter, and you can look for it here. Yep.
Pops that one up 3rd base again. Lopez over and no play.
Now you have to let him swing there because of the way his ability to hit the fastball. And it's not an open base, so it's not like you're pitching around him. You pretty much know he's going to get a heater.
He's had 3 hits in 19 at bats now against Felix Hernandez. First base Wigginton staying tight to the bag. Scott asked for a timeout at the plate. Orioles get the lead. Here in the 4th inning, they've only had a couple of hits in the ball game, but at the right time. And that's a strike under the arms, and the count goes full, 3-2. Ty Wigginton, both hits in the ball game for the Orioles, making him 5 for 11 lifetime off Felix Hernandez. There's Ty with the RBI, and looking behind him where Kochman has moved with a 3-2 count. Runner goes center field. Back for Langerhans. And he's got it. But the Orioles get a run. They score the run on just one hit, leaving one on, and take a 1-0 lead.
For a run trying to break his 4-game losing streak. Hernandez also on a 3-game losing streak, so a lot of quality pitches. And again, not a lot of mistakes right here. Both base hits by the Orioles by Ty Wigington drives in Marquez, who walked to make it 1-0. There are the numbers.
Felix Hernandez during the last half inning heading over to the dugout and not real happy. Here's Langerhans. Langerhans will take that for a strike. This is between innings. Hernandez can be very demonstrative. 0-1 count on Langerhans. Strikeout victim his first time up. Tries to lay one down. Ooh, careful. Tatum, I think, stepped on the bat and twisted his ankle a bit there.
Either that or he might have stepped right on the ball.
Yeah, he might have.
Like Angel Hernandez, the umpire at home plate. So let's see the ball right there, and it looks like he just steps on right and rolls that ankle.
Oof. That right ankle. It's like playing basketball and you come down.
Oh yeah,
after a rebound and you.
So you were a good rebounder.
A tremendous rebounder, yeah. So I
kind of look at you more like a point guard.
If I was 40 feet away from the basket, I could rebound anything that rolled out.
Oh, the bricks.
Oh, yeah. Those bricks came right back to me. Usually I'm the one who shot them.
It's good to know.
It is.
In case we ever play pickup in game in Anaheim.
Far, far away in my past.
Me too, but just in case.
For these knees. Here's the 0-2 delivery on the way, and that'll be inside for a ball. Langerhans, Wilson, and Johnson due up here for Seattle with the Orioles on top.
Yeah, Kevin has done a great job of changing the eye line of the hitters. Right there, he, kind of took a little bit off first pitch, down and away. Then he just runs it up and in.
1-2 delivery. That will miss away. 2-ball, 2-strike count. Kevin here at home this season, 0-1 on the road, 0-3. He's looking for his 156th career win against 125 losses. 2-2 delivery. And that's going to miss, and the count will go 3-2. So Langerhans takes it full, trying to get on here to lead off an inning. M's got a lead runner on in the 4th and stranded a couple. Ichiro has the only hit off Millwood, a single. Three-two. Patterson into the gap, all the way to the wall. Langerhans on his way to second base, and he gets a leadoff double here in the 5th inning.
Yeah, unable to execute the pitches early on when he got him 0-2, and then eventually 3-2. You got a 1-0 lead. You want to throw a strike. Look where Tatum's sitting. He's sitting in, and again, you know, very quiet delivery, but this time misses his target by a foot, and the result is the ball up the gap.
So the potential tying run on with the first double of the season, Langerhans. He said he just got called up. The roster changes they've made, so he's just getting his playing time started here for the season.
Yeah, we'll see how Don Wakamatsu plays this. I would imagine that the sacrifice is not out of the question here.
Wilson,
you know, get him over some way.
Flied out his first time up, and a timeout will be taken. Tatum wants to go out with that runner on at second base, perhaps. Also, how Tejada's going to play this at third.
Well, Hughes was in at first, and now he's talking to Wigington, and then Tejada was creeping in a little bit, even with a bag. Maybe even a little bit shorter than that at third base.
Tejada moves in on the grass now. Question of whether or not Tejada stays back and they try and get a play at third. It's not a force play, or whether he charges. Nobody out here. Did not show bunt, and will take it for a strike.
Well, you know, Josh Wilson, who had a terrific game on Tuesday in every facet of the game, defensively, base running, got a couple of hits last night. He's the guy that bounced in a couple double plays. He's trying to get the ball into right field, to the right side.
That ball is to right, tagging up Markakis. Langerhans is going to go to third. Throw is cut off, so he gets him over as he moves up with the fly ball to right, one away. On Tuesday, May 25, don't miss Ollie's Bargain Night, presented by Ollie's Bargain Outlet. All upper reserve seats that night with the A's, just $8 when purchased in advance. Hope you'll gather up family, friends, and any enemies you'd like to bring to the yard. You can do it cheap. 888-848-BIRD to go to Orioles.com for Ollie's Bargain Night. So one away. The infield's going to move in. Johnson grounded out his first time up. Orioles will try and cut this run down if Langerhans takes off. Rob Johnson, you see, just 164.
Again, one of the big hits on Tuesday. He's trying to get it in the air, and Kevin's trying to get him to hit a ground ball.
Runner not going. Infield in works. As Torres makes the play, Johnson retired, and there are two down.
Yeah, Alonzo Powell came over as a hitting instructor as Alan Cockrell was let go on Sunday morning. They get 8, they get 5. Last night they get 1. You can't be real happy with that pitch selection early in the count. You know, you're looking for a ball, and he made a good pitch. I'm not taking anything away from Kevin. It's just that hitting instructors wants you to have enough confidence to work a little bit deeper and try to get a ball in the air and tie the game up. But again, a quality pitch by Kevin Millwood.
Now with two down, runner at third base, Michael Saunders, and a cutter in on him that he wasn't close to for strike one.
Well, you're going to see a young hitter that most likely, if it hadn't been for Milton Bradley's, you know, problems emotionally and, you know, on the restricted list, would still be a AAA. And a veteran pitcher. He's really going to try to work him, stay out of the middle of the plate.
Came right back in there.
A couple of cutters, sliders down and in. Because again, as we mentioned, Kevin Millwood's had an opportunity to see him hit sitting on the bench the last two nights. And you get a pretty good idea that he's a real good fastball hitter, preferably down. So you try to stay out of those areas.
Came up from AAA on May 6th. 0-2 count on him. And the fastball is going to be taken up high. He is a real prospect for this ball club. They like him. And as Jim said, they wished they had not had to make the move quite so soon. 1 ball, 2 strikes. When Milton Bradley, and if he comes back, nobody knows. Here's the 1-2 delivery. And they get him to go after one outside, and he wouldn't. And a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Saunders trying to get the run in from third. Millwood trying to leave him there. First time the Mariners have had a runner at third base. They stranded one at second in the fourth. Millwood with a 1-0 lead. 2-2.
Yeah, he just fights off a slider cutter that stays up. You know, last night, second time up, tried to fake a bunt because there's 2 strikes here. Everybody way back. And Tejada playing 3 or 4 steps from the outfield. Down at third. I mean, gets any kind of high chopper or kind of swing and bunt down the third baseline is going to be a base hit. Because he really runs well for
deceivingly fast for his size.
Long strides.
2-2 delivery and pops that one up. And that'll be a souvenir as well. No play on that. And of course, stays 2-2.
Yeah, and the one thing right here is, and Craig Tatum's going to have a little conversation. You still have a ball to work with, but you look on deck and you know who's there. The last thing you want to do is get yourself where you have to throw not a quality strike and have Ichiro come up, because he's the type of guy that can just change the whole dynamics of this game.
Saunders, knowing that, figures he might get a pitch to hit. 2 balls, 2 strikes on him. Runner off third. And again, fouls it back off the handle. It'll stay at 2-2.
Well, Kevin's doing his Mariano Rivera act, which is cutter, 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 cutter. Really good movement on those fastballs.
See why the left-handers hit only 237 off him. That kind of pitch. A very effective pitch against left-handers for a right-handed pitcher. Pretty efficient so far.
Well, he's had all kinds of games like this. I mean, the Red Sox game was 2-1 till Drew tied it up in the 7th.
Loose ball here behind home plate. Angel Hernandez.
Where did it come from?
I think it came out of his ball bag. Two-two delivery on the way. Another one. This one was down around the ankles, and somehow he fouled it off. It'll stay at 2 balls and 2 strikes. So we mentioned last night, if there is a negative number about the minor league career of this young hitter, it is the fact that he strikes out about 28% of the time in plate appearances in his minor league career. Boy, he's battled some pitches here against Millwood. Here's the 2-2 delivery to him, and that's way up high, and it goes full 3-2.
Yeah, that curveball. I had never really seen him. Of course, the luxury this year, you get to see him pitch every 5th day, but when he was pitching for the Rangers or Cleveland or even Atlanta, he didn't throw a lot of curveballs, but that was early in his career, through in the mid-90s then.
3-2 delivery and a base hit will tie this game up, and credit Michael Saunders with a real quality at bat right there. He battled, got a 3-2 single, and it is a 1-1 game.
Well, I know Kevin Millwood's disappointed with him, but he did have a terrific at bat, and then at the end of the day, watch this slider. It just hangs. You know, he's trying to backdoor it after coming in, and right there, the young kid speeds up the bat, stays on it.
4 RBIs and 16 at bats since being recalled for Saunders, and that's a big 2-out RBI, something both of these teams have struggled to get. And now Ichiro will get an at bat here. Ichiro is singled, and he's flied out. A 5-game hit streak for him against the Orioles this year. Now Ichiro has had 9 hits and 21 at bats, continuing his assault on Oriole pitching as the all-time leading average ever against the Orioles. 2 down, and Ichiro will take that, and it misses for a ball.
And we've seen him hit it everywhere. I mean, that's why he is so difficult to be able to defend. A couple of hits on Tuesday night to left. Last night, Ferguson and only gave up 3 hits, got one inside, doubled up the gap to right field.
Ichiro, the all-time leading hitter in this ballpark as well, with a .393 career batting average. Just amazing.
He's got 19 hits to left, 15 to center, and 12 to right. Now, if that's not working the field, I don't know what is.
Patterson actually guards the line in left field.
A huge gap in left center.
2-0 delivery hit in the air. That is way back. Markakis at the wall, and goodbye home run. He continues to do it against the Orioles and in this yard. Suzuki gets his first home run of the season. RBI 6 and 7. And it is a 3-1 Seattle lead.
Well, all you have to do is go down to the cage, watch him take batting practice, and you know he's capable of doing this, and the count has a lot to do with it. I mean, a classic front foot down through the zone, 2-0 ball in the middle of the plate. And the reason he got to the plate is because of Michael Saunders. That terrific at bat to get the game tied, and now they take a lead, 3-1.
That's our Ford drive of the game. Your local Ford dealer invites you to experience Ford like never before. Ford Drive 1. First of the year and a 3-1 lead on one swing of the bat. Figgins sacrifice and he is struck out. And Tatum's going to go out as Kevin Millwood falls behind here 2-0. For Ichiro, that is going to be the third home run he has hit in this yard as part of that almost 400 batting average now here at Camden Yards lifetime. Well, it came in a hurry. Langerhans got the double and scored on a 2-out single by Saunders after that great at bat, and Ichiro follows it up with a homer. And it's 3 runs on 4 hits for the M's, 1 run, 2 hits for the O's. 3-0 delivery. Just trying to lay that in, find the strike zone again, and he did. 3-1. Kevin Millwood surrendering his 8th home run of the season. That one will be fouled off.
Well, you can see now all of a sudden the command has just deserted him a little bit. He got behind Langerhans. He doubled to left center. Didn't make a good pitch to Saunders. They were able to tie it up and then got behind Ichiro 2-0, and right there 3-1. And Figgins, who hasn't been swinging the bat, very authoritative swing.
Hitting at 188. He will go down swinging. 4th strikeout, but the damage done. Runs scored here. Ichiro with 2 RBI homer included. 3-1 Mariners. Born in Germany when his dad was in the service and then became a preacher, his father, and that's why he calls himself PK. The youngster Will Ullman covering the bases during this ball game. No, the Orioles try and get back here. Down now by a score of 3-1, and that one's fouled away. Hughes, the strikeout victim, his first time up. Tatum and his tourist to follow against Felix Hernandez. Hernandez coming in with that 4.3 ERA. and that 3-game losing streak, and now has a couple of runs to work with. Hughes, 1 for his last 12. Went around on that. Angel Hernandez, the home plate umpire, made the call. And it's 1-2.
Yeah, and something we touched on is that when you're 24 and you're already 4-0 in this ballpark, you're comfortable. That means the mound is agreeable. And you're trying to hit that inside corner, because all mounds are different. I mean, they're not supposed to be any higher than 10 inches high, but some look closer to home plate than others. Some seem like it's about 60 feet, or maybe 62 feet, 65 feet. The one in Detroit, by the time you got it dug out and whatever, you're hoping you're able to get into the 3rd or 4th inning, because it took that long. And then you go to Kansas City. George Toma would, you like to throw downhill, so he put a little extra clay in there so your foot would hit before you really wanted it to.
How about the one at Dodger Stadium?
Oh, well, I pitched it once and pitched the only shutout I ever pitched at that point in my career.
Getting play has got to be made at first by Johnson, and it does. Strikeout number 4. We'll get back to that here. Vote for your favorite O's for the 2010 All-Star Game. Orioles.com's where you can do it, and you could win the Vote Orioles VIP Experience All-Star Sweepstakes. One lucky winner, 4 tickets to an upcoming game, VIP parking, on-field access for BP, private meet and greet with the O's All-Stars, and a personalized All-Star Game batting practice jersey. Visit Orioles.com/All-Star for details. So what was it about that mound?
It was my theory was it doesn't rain a lot in Los Angeles, especially during the baseball season. So you look at most mounds, and Cole Sherry here, the groundskeeper, could probably maybe correct me on this, but I always felt that they actually dropped the whole infield. In other words, it didn't taper from the mound towards the foul lines like it does in most ballparks because of drainage. So they would actually make the field would be a little bit lower where you build your mound, so that the 10 inches was actually more than 10 inches, because it was like being on a ski slope. And the same in Houston.
Yeah. So they had a downward swoop. Well, in Houston, didn't Houston have the one that went up and down that actually was on a riser?
Most likely because of the Astrodome.
Yeah.
I mean, in the old ballpark.
And that created a differential. 2-ball, 1 strike count. Tatum struck out his first time up. Twice has just missed getting one over the bag at third. Lopez helping the third base umpire Joe West see where that ball hit the dirt.
Well, last night when I'm waiting to do the postseason and you're scurrying home with that corned beef sandwich and the postgame show, and there you can hear them literally tamping. I mean, they're tamping the clay back into the mound and into home plate. It's something they do as a ritual to fill it in, because if you kick it out as either a hitter or a pitcher.
Major League Baseball once in a while sends somebody around to look at mounds.
So they say, yeah.
Baselines.
Yeah, I imagine they do.
Not very often. That ball's popped up, and that'll end up back into the seats. They also send them around for lights, more so in the minors than they do in the majors, to make sure that the wattage, the ampage, is correct, and that they go around the field with a monitor and make sure that you have the correct amount of light. You think about that, I mean, you're covering a very big space in the ballpark.
Well, we notice it when we go to Texas next week. It seems like they're dark spots.
This one goes to short. Wilson's got it. And Tatum is retired, 2 away in the 5th inning.
Of course, the hitters want all the light they can at home plate, and the pitchers want it to be kind of dusk.
Relatively dark.
Can you turn the lights down when I pitch? Is that too much to ask? I mean, I don't think so. I mean, Randy Johnson, they used to say that he'd get the ball, like Ernie Tyler does it here, rubs up the balls. He'd get the ball guy to make them a little browner. Because baseballs you throw are not white.
No.
They're kind of tannish brown by the time they put the New Jersey river mud on, or wherever it's from. I think it's from New Jersey.
1-0 count on Cesar Izturis. 3-4-0 for the Mariners, 1-2-0 for the Orioles. Each team has left 2 on base. Pitching duel here with Felix Hernandez and Kevin Millwood. Hernandez 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. Millwood a walk and 4 strikeouts. Ichiro's had his first home run of the year, good for 2 RBIs. Michael Saunders an RBI single. In the air to left center. They weren't playing him that deep. Saunders gets back there, though, and hauls it in. A 1-2-3 inning for Hernandez, and the Mariners stay on top by 2. right, Amber, and we certainly disappointed to hear that, and we send our best to Jim. I mean, as Dave Tremblay was talking about before the game today, he tried to work. There was something wrong with his elbow, and he tried to pitch through it at the beginning of the season, and then once got sent down, ended up on the DL, then the examinations, and now this. That's tough.
Yeah, it really is, and then it's even tougher because if you've never had surgery, you certainly don't want to have it, even though there's a tremendous success rate. You don't want to be the one guy that doesn't have it. And even though, you know, we had heard a couple of innings ago, Josh Beckett, who is actually, he had that back in 2003, came back and was MVP of the World Series that year, and really has been able to maintain that. So hopefully it will heal over the next 4 or 5 weeks, and he can just resume his pitching.
Yep.
But you could see he's always trying to kind of maybe straighten out his arm a little bit because there was something there, and now they found what it was. So that's the good news part about it. The bad news is you don't know how it'll come back.
Yeah. Casey Kochman hitting at 194 in the year, is 0 for 2 in this ball game, 1 for 5 in the series. Kevin Millwood. Kochman's trying to stay off a list of the lowest batting average ever for a Seattle Mariner. Where you see the 2 RBI home run, Ichiro at the top, and then Michael Saunders, the single at the bottom. Kochman in May hitting .069. Dave Valley had the lowest May average ever for the Mariners at .07. Fouled off again.
About .269 lifetime hitter. And you'd like to think he's going to get back towards those numbers. Don Wakamatsu made a good point. He said there's a number of guys that we have to play that we don't know if we can play and hit in the big leagues, but Kochman's not one of those guys.
Strange year in that department. There are a lot of surprisingly low numbers for people that have always been pretty good hitters at the major league level. 3-ball, 2-strike count. Kochman.
Well, and they are only starts. That's the one thing I've always thought. You know, you lose 2 or 3, 4 games, you're 1-4, 0-4 like Kevin Miller. You can't erase those losses. They're going to be with you all year long, but you can change your batting average in a hurry. And we've seen a lot of guys do that. They struggle in April, and all of a sudden at the end of the year they're hitting close to 300 or more.
Although at this point, I was just looking, I mean, there are a number of hitters now who are well over 100 at bats.
Yes. But you're hopefully going to get about, what, 550 to 600?
That's your hope.
Yeah. If you can stay healthy. But how about the double play he turned? That's where they got him. That and the fact that they hoped he'd hit pretty well.
Second base this time. Wigginton up. 1 away here in the 6th inning. Kochman will be followed by Sweeney and Lopez. Sweeney's had a walk and he is grounded out. He's the designated hitter in the ball game today. Orioles trying to put a couple of wins back to back. That has not been easy for the Orioles to do this season. And also this is the rubber match of this 3-game set. The Orioles winning 5-2 last night after losing the opener 5-1. Dave Tremblay's ball club now 10-24. Mariners 13-20. Ooh, towering shot to center. Jones going back, warning track wall, and goodbye home run. Off the bat, that had sound of long ball. Sweeney gets it. His first, and a 4-1 Seattle lead.
Well, they got him because he had a great spring, and he brings a veteran presence. Very religious guy, God-fearing, and yesterday he said, well, they got the 2 ancient Mariners on the bench, both him and Griffey. Today, one of them, I mean, he just slams his ball. 10 for 20 in spring, actually 20 for 40 in spring training to make the team. Not a lot of at-bats, but that just adds to the lead against a very tough right-hander.
So 2 home runs in the ball game. Kevin Millwood now has given up more home runs than anyone else in the American League pitching wise. That's 9 on the season. That's hard into left field for a base hit.
Well, that's just another hanging slider. So the focus, it seemed pretty much after the hit by Michael Saunders, getting away. But this is his 8th start, and I cannot think of one pitch.
Hope you'll join us again tomorrow as Game 1 against the Indians has Jeremy Guthrie against Justin Masterson. We'll have our coverage on Masson HD 630 O's Extra, presented by your local Ford dealer. Game coverage at 7. All the access you need right here on Masson. Indians coming to town.
But my point was, is he thrown one pitch this year that hasn't meant the ball game? And that is really tough. I don't care how old you are, how many games you won, how experienced you are. It just makes it very difficult. And I know it sounds like an excuse, but to me, having pitched, it's a valid one. Never any chance to relax.
Yep. 4-1 ball game for Sweeney. That's his 7th home run in this ballpark. He too is a very good hitter here, over 300, almost 330 actually at Camden Yards.
Well, if you were a hitter, what wouldn't you like about it? I mean, short power alleys, beautiful park, great underground facilities to do all your work. If it, like the last couple of days, they've had rain.
Runner going. He tried to protect it. I mean, no chance. And that'll be Lopez taken out on the caught stealing. Langerhans swung at a pitch he had no chance of hitting, trying to protect him.
Well, now 2 out of 4 for Craig Tatum. Made the club because, I mean, he's a catch and throw guy. Watch this arm. Boom. I mean, a rocket arm into the runner. 4 or 5 feet in front of second base.
Gets the out. Now Langerhans, who has doubled and scored and struck out as the base is empty, and he hits a towering pop-up. Tatum back. And there'll be no play on that. Count will stay at a ball and 2 strikes. Well, Kevin Millwood, another home run surrendered here with the looks like Felix Hernandez settling in, as is common for Hernandez in his career. In fact, he gets tougher as it goes along. He can get up to that 7,500 pitch count and has the best opponent batting average against him in the league. Swung on, miss. They got to make the play at first. So the strikeout for Millwood is the 5th, but the home run by Sweeney, a solo shot, his first, has made it a 4-1 ball game. Guaranteed. Gary Thorne, Jim Palmer, Amber Theo Harris, final game in a rubber match. The Mariners have the 4-1 lead, bottom of the 6th, and the top of the order for the O's. Patterson has grounded out twice, once into a double play. One of the big plays of the ball game that came in the 3rd inning when the Orioles got Torres on with a walk. 1-0 delivery hit hard. That is a fair ball down the line. Patterson will make the turn. Ichiro into the corner, and will hold him with a double, and the Orioles get the inning started with a 2-bagger.
Well, location so important for pitchers. You can see ball in the middle of the plate. Corey able to get to it, not away. There's your H.H. Greg Exmo, and he just hits a ground ball. Nobody playing there. Percentage baseball, you give him the lines because you figure Hernandez will make a better pitch. He doesn't, and Corey takes advantage of it.
Corey had 19 doubles one year and 26 the other with the Orioles in 06-07. He's on at second base. And here's Adam Jones. RBI chance for him. Jones has struck out, grounded out.
It's pretty much it until that double been all about Wigington. Tie with a couple of singles, one for the RBI, the leadoff, or at least a one-out walk to Nick Markakis.
1-0 count. Jones looking to enter that extra base hit department. He is 0 for 2 in the ball game, but 4 for 10 in this series. They've all been singles. Trying to get his first extra base hit in the month of May. Infield. Backs up now. Lopez had been playing in at third a little bit with nobody out. He'll go back. Wilson trying to hold Patterson and a timeout taken. A lot of jumping around at second base.
Well, that's what speed does. I mean, it does take your focus away from. You try not to have it, but if you're a middle infielder, you have to keep him close. You have to play maybe a step or two out of position. And you can see Josh Wilson trying to make sure he doesn't get a big lead.
1-1 delivery to him down to first. That is a fair ball. Nice play made by Kochman, who gets it to Hernandez. That'll move Patterson over to third base with one away. Head to head this season, the Orioles have really had their problems with his pitching, obviously, hitting .228. Been outscored 26-11, out homered 4-2. And the Mariners' ERA continues under 2 in the 5 games so far against the Orioles. And Hernandez trying to keep it that way. Orioles well within striking distance. Two managers who've had to really manage for runs. Up the middle, Corey Patterson taken back to the bag, and then the easy toss will get Markakis.
Again, the sinker ball. We saw Brad Bergeson use it so effectively. You know, a guy that actually, I mean, really wears him out. Aggressive swing by Nick Markakis, and then you field your position. How many pitchers would that ball maybe have gotten by?
All those who go to first or third.
Yeah. You become a defender once you fling it.
That is in there for a strike. Tejada's popped out, grounded out. 0 for 2, 3 for 10 in the series. Hitting at .286 now, so the Orioles are 2 down. Need that 2-out RBI. As a team hitting .220 in these situations. Only in the 6th inning, so plenty of time to get back here, but they'd like to get that run in. You get a leadoff double. Don't want to leave that runner out there.
Well, we saw it in the 4th inning against Cliff Lee. In a tie ball game. Runners at second and third, 1 out, and he's got a little bit better. Became Cy Young like he was a couple of years ago. That's what Felix Hernandez wants to do. Miguel wants to be like when he drove in 150 runs for the Orioles.
That's a strike taken.
Well, there's Cliff Lee.
Lee back in form now after getting a late start, being on the DL. He'll be in that rotation regularly. A 1-run, 8 hits, and 7 1/3 against the Orioles in the victory he got. Tejada 3 for 13, 2 down runners in scoring position. He's got Patterson there right now. 1-2 delivery to him, and a wild cut. And there is strikeout number 5 for Hernandez. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. 4-1 Mariners. Kevin Millwood's game flow in this one has been a walk and 5 strikeouts, but one of those innings, again, that was the 5th, where he had the leadoff double, 2-out RBI single Saunders on the 2 RBI homer by Ichiro. And a 4-1 lead for the M's.
It's kind of like a carbon copy of what went on in Seattle, where he had the 4-run 4th inning.
Hard hit ball to short as Torres has gun it. 1 pitch, 1 out. Wilson, 1 away, 7th inning.
Well, Kevin Millwood, I mean, again, his command has deserted him the last 2 innings, 2+ innings, and he's just trying to somehow, kind of like when you've been hit a little bit. If you're boxing, you just want to be able to get through the round and maybe have a chance to pick up a win if your team can get offensively minded.
1 down. Johnson 0 for 2, bottom third of the order here. So again, Millwood will try and get these outs 1, 2, 3 and not have to face Ichiro in the inning. 1-0 delivery. That's going to miss outside. Johnson has grounded out to short twice in the ball game.
Well, the reason he's playing is because of what he's done behind the dish. I mean, any hits or bonuses. That doesn't mean that that's what they want, but you know, he had one of the lowest ERAs. And you can see now that, you know, he had 2 hips operated on, labrum tears. He had those fixed. He also had a wrist problem, but he's there. What, 3.32 ERA when he was caught last year.
Millwood, 2-ball, 1-strike delivery to him. Johnson will go to third to Howard, a nice backhand. 2 down. Saturday is the next game for members of the Junior Orioles Dugout Club, presented by Chick-fil-A. Fans 14 and under get tickets to 10 games, Dugout Club hat, membership card, and it comes in that great lunchbox. Only $17, and family and friends can then get tickets for only $6. So sign up, 888-848-BIRD. Go to Orioles.com or stop in any Chick-fil-A location. And a lot of youngsters on hand. Field trip day. National Weather Bureau was on hand to help present some information about weather forecasting to the kids who were all seated downstairs prior to the ball game today. Michael Saunders, a single and an RBI, and has been called out on strikes. Saunders, 1-0 delivery. It's going to miss down low for a ball. Cleveland comes in tomorrow night to start the 3-game set. Jeremy Guthrie and Justin Masterson. 7:05 first pitch. 6:30 O's extra. 2-0 delivery and a foul ball. 2-ball, 1-strike count. 20,938, 20938. The attendance for our day game today. And with the kids on hand, it sounds like 90,207. The 2-1 delivery to Michael Saunders. Markakis looking way back, and goodbye home run. Saunders delivers the long shot. That is his second. And a 3-homer day for the team that had the fewest in the majors, and a 5-1 lead.
Well, another cutter, and again, you can see 2nd home run of this season. It just kind of goes right back in the middle of the plate. And again, big, strong kid, good fastball hitter. You know, the cutter is just like a fastball because it speeds up the bat. And, you know, they did a thing where it took, David Ortiz 28 seconds to get around the bases. You know, he hadn't hit a lot of home runs because he got around the bases in about half that time.
And that's going to be it for Kevin Millwood. He will not get his first win of the season. 5 runs, 7 hits, 6 2/3 innings, and 3 home runs against him in the ballgame. So Kevin Millwood, there's the line with the home run. 3 of them in the ball game against him, the difference.
Yeah, Mark Hendrickson coming in to relieve him. They pitched up to briefly in Minnesota. Lefty's he hasn't done a real good number. Of course, he's never been a left-handed specialist. But lefty's hitting 8 for 21. That's 381. And of course, Ichiro hits better lifetime against lefties than righties. It's hard to believe, but that's what he does. That tells you how good a hitter he is. And I'm talking really good numbers in the 340 range. He came in 341 against left-handers, 329 into the season.
2-0 count. This is the second time this year Kevin Millwood has had a 3-homer ball game against him. Toronto in his second start picked up 3 of the 4 runs on homers. He's given up 3 here, and the total 5 runs surrendered is the most given up by Millwood this season. Ichiro backed off in a 3-ball 1-strike count. His first home run came in the 5th inning. He's also singled. So as usual, big numbers. He's got 6 hits and 9 at bats in this series. 3-1 delivery to him. He will take that, and it draws the walk. So Hendrickson comes on and surrenders a walk with 2 down to Ichiro. Sean Figgins 0 for 2 and a sacrifice in the ball game.
Yeah, Kevin Millwood would be very disappointed. He was so good. In fact, the first hit was an infield hit by Ichiro. Got out of the 4th and then just lost his command a little bit. And he'll be the first guy to tell you, I mean, this is what you live to do. You really enjoy the competing part of it. And like he said before the game, he said, I just have to get better. But lately, he's almost had to be perfect, and he hadn't been able to do that. And, you know, when you get into your middle 30s, it's hard to do that. You got to have run support. I don't mean 7, 8 runs, but, you know, 4 or 5 runs would certainly help.
Figgins to second, short hopped. And stepping on the bag is Wigginton to get the out. 1 run on 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on. The homer by Michael Saunders has made it 5-1. Wonderful program for the fans. Hope you take advantage of it and get to meet and greet some of the O's. Young fan right there. Enjoying a little 7th inning stretch.
So Don Buford was here. One of the great leadoff hitters. 69, 70, 71. Nobody better.
So the Orioles will try and mount the attack here late. Bottom of the 7th inning. Felix Hernandez, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. Orioles only run, RBI single, Ty Wigginton. Wigginton has 2 of the Orioles' 3 hits. And Wigginton off the plate, foul. 5-7-0 for the Mariners, 1-3-0 for the Orioles. Each team has left 3 on base. Felix Hernandez early on looked like maybe Orioles would have a chance to get to him, but he has settled in. Wigginton, the last hit that came in the, take that back, Patterson the last hit in the 6th inning, a double.
Yeah, 94 pitches. And then in that complete game threw 113 against the Orioles up in Seattle. Wow,
and gets a strikeout. That's 6 in the ball game.
Well, again, the capabilities for somebody that young to get you out so many different ways. And Wigington with already a couple of hits, curveball and a fastball. And then he just pulls the string with a changeup. Watch the bottom drop out of this ball. I mean, just straight down. It's like a split-fingered fastball, changes speeds, direction, and he gets the strikeout. He averages 8 strikeouts per 9 innings in his career.
Luke Scott 0 for 2. Unlike most pitchers, Felix Hernandez, after he has thrown 75 pitches, has the lowest opponent batting average against him. After he gets 75 and above, opponents hit 219 off him. That knocks him down, and that's going to be a base hit. And he's fortunate. Scott will stay at first as it bounces off the facade on an ill-directed throw over there.
Yeah, every once in a while he still displays his inexperience. I mean, almost makes a nice play in the glove, but the force of the ball, or maybe going backwards, and then no reason to throw this. Gets lucky though, because it caroms right back, and there you go, ball just to your right, and can't reach it. Even with those long arms.
Scott's got a single. Orioles get their 4th hit, 1 on, 1 out. Ryan Hughes has struck out twice. Hughes now 1 for his last 13. Average at 225. That one towards second. He's got a base hit. Goes after the first pitch in that at bat. Orioles get 2 on now with 1 down in the 7th.
Boy, he's seen some awfully good pitching since he's come up for AAA, and right there still the aggressiveness that, you know, we saw that first night up in Boston off of John Lackey. A couple of hits the first 2 at bats in the big leagues on fastballs right there. Just rips one into right field.
Matt Wieters is going to pinch hit for Tatum. Tatum had an 0 for 2 in the ball game. Matt comes up with the 4 home runs and that 281 batting average. As a pinch hitter, he's gone 1 for 2. And just to be sure, they'll conference here.
Yeah, Rick, their pitching coach, going to come out. Well, you know, you talked about the fact, and there is Sean Kelly, and you were talking about how the ability to pitch late in the ball game and have low numbers, and that's because of that sinker. At the end of the day, he can still sink the ball, and that sink ball usually results in groundouts.
So Matt Wieters will come on and try and keep this rally going. A 5-1 deficit for the Orioles, but 2 on and only 1 away. With Tremblay hoping the ball club and have one of those late inning offensive attacks, which they have done at times this season. Wieters 3 for 7 off Hernandez. First ball hitting. Will it stay fair? It is deep and it is foul. You had 2 pitchers in this ball game that came in giving up home runs for the day. It's 3 against Millwood, and so far none off Hernandez, who has given up 6.
I think he learned a lesson about speeding up the bat with that 88-mile-per-hour changeup.
And lays that one in there, 0-2. Matt's had a couple of hits and 8 at-bats in this series. He started the first 2 games. Behind in the count here. 100 pitches for Felix Hernandez. 0-2 delivery. That'll miss down low with a sinker. Scott's the lead runner at second base. Hughes is on at first. Makes those home runs look so much more important. The one by Saunders in the 7th and the Sweeney home run in the 6th. Solo shots that increase that lead. 0-2, and he got him. 7 strikeouts for Hernandez. Our Home Depot doing more on defense in this ball game on the mound. Felix Hernandez not only pitching, but trying to help his own cause defensively. Has made 1 nice defensive play and almost 2. But he's got 7 Ks in the game. More saving, more doing. The power of Home Depot. Atkins is going to come on and pinch hit for Torres. Garrett Atkins, pinch hitter, 0 for 2 this year.
Yeah, I think they're hoping that he is able to do what Ichiro did, which is get his first home run. I don't know how easy that's going to be off of Felix, who's kind of notch it up a little bit, even though it almost hits him on that first pitch.
Here they come. 1-0 delivery to Garrett Atkins, and he fouls it off. 1-1. Strikeout high for Hernandez this year is 9. He had that figure against the Detroit Tigers. His career high is 12 against Oakland back in 07. He's got 7 in this ball game. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Orioles looking for that big hit here. Down to third, a forced play at third base. Lopez will take it. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and a couple left on base. What a handsome young man. What happened?
Last year, and the magic number is over 3 runs. Orioles are 3-20 when they score 3 runs or less, and the Mariners are 3-17. You get a pretty good idea of how much offense you have to win ball games. And then when you get Hernandez, who obviously Felix at 24 is very comfortable pitching here. If he wins today, he'll be 5-0 at Camden Yards.
He has done the job. The Orioles had a couple of chances to get to him earlier in the ball game, couldn't do it. A couple of defensive plays that mattered. Lugo's come on to play it short. With his Torres out, Matt Wieters stays in the ball game. He's doing the catching. The 1-1 delivery on the way, swung and a miss. Mark Hendrickson on, working out of the bullpen. And for Kevin Millwood, he will wait and hope here for a late rally. But right now, the way Hernandez is pitching, the way their bullpen is gone, it's going to be tough to come back in this ball game.
Well, you're hoping the pitch count will get Felix Hernandez out of the game, and then of course it's anybody's ball game. You would like to think, I guess, if you're Don Wakamatsu, bullpen's going to be able to hold it. But even last night in a 5-1 Orioles victory, or a 5-2, it got a little dicey at the end, and Orioles are hoping that'll be the case tonight.
Ground ball out there, and the Orioles will get a couple more chances here to go at it. For Kevin Millwood, a tough day today. I mean, the home run ball has been something that's jumped up at him this season, and today it was just enough to give him the runs they needed.
Yeah, and he will tell you that he's disappointed, because anytime you're a veteran, he didn't make his pitches like he did the first 4 innings. He was as good as I've seen him all year in the first 4 innings, and then in that 5th inning, he just, he had some command problems. Saunders had that great at bat and ended up tying it, and then he got behind Ichiro, and he hit his first home run of the year, and it just kind of changed things. And then, of course, Mike Sweeney, I mean, he's a home run guy.
Sweeney's home run, first of the year, came in the 6th inning. He will foul that one back off Hendrickson. Matt Albers is in the bullpen for the Orioles. Hendrickson came on to get the final out in the 7th inning. Sweeney with the 0-1 delivery, and that's going to be taken inside for a ball. Sweeney 235 off the left-handers, only 118 off righties. Trying to pick his offensive numbers up with that 194 batting average overall. 1-1 delivery is 1-2 on the foul ball.
And he came up originally with Kansas City as a catcher and then a hitter. Big, strong guy.
Trying to fill the DH role, help out there, along with Ken Griffey Jr. and the issue of what Griffey's going to do as far as staying or going career-wise. Towery pop-up first base side.
Well, there's an article of Jerry Brewer of the Seattle Times wrote an article today just saying that he, of course, is a fan. As we look at Brandon League, he came in and pitched the last 2 innings on Tuesday night in the Mariners' victory. But Jerry was just saying, obviously as a fan and as a journalist, he hopes he does well, talking about Ken Griffey Jr. But he said until they have somebody better, at least give him a chance. And that hasn't been the case. I thought he played in all 3 games here.
That one is popped up. Second base. And there are 2 down here in the 8th inning. Time to text in your vote for the AT&T Player of the Game. Here are the candidates. Felix Hernandez looking for the 3rd win of the season on the mound. Ichiro's had his first home run in another 2-hit game. And Saunders, who had that great at bat, 2 RBIs, 2 runs scored, 2 for 3 ball game. Text in your vote, A, B, or C, 51862.
And that's not to second guess Don Makamatsu. He's trying to put the best club out there that he thinks can win.
That'll go to short, played by Lugo, and gets the out on Lopez. A 1-2-3 inning. Mariners lead it. And we are covering the bases with the Orioles left-handed reliever through the years for Will, and then maybe off to a farm. He's been through some areas where you could pretty well do that. California, Seattle, Colorado, places he's lived as a child, all with some pretty decent farm territories.
We'll hook him up with Mike Boddicker when Mike does the games. You know, Mike comes from Iowa, the farmland there.
Brandon League on to pitch as for Felix Hernandez is out.
Yeah, again, the pitch count gets him, so not a lot of success. Only the single to the right on the hanging curveball by Ty Wigington. And then, of course, there's been a double. I don't see too many breaking balls from Brandon League. He comes in. He's been pitching extremely well. They acquired him in the offseason from Toronto. And given up an earned run in his last 6 games over 5 2/3 innings. And last year, he had almost about 2.5 ground balls to fly ball ratio. And that's what you want, especially in that ballpark up in Safeco.
Corey Patterson has had a double, hit into a double play, and he's grounded out. Bottom of the 8th inning, 1 ball, 2 strike count. Hernandez, 1 run, 5 hits over 7. He walked 2 and struck out 7, trying to get his 2nd win of the year and 6th career win against the Orioles. Top of the order against Brandon League, and a fly ball right field, way back at the wall. Goodbye, home run. Corey Patterson delivers the homer, showing some Oriole power. And it is a 5-2 game.
Well, there you go. 16 of them in 2006 for the Orioles. I mean, a great low ball hitter. I mean, this ball right in the middle of the plate and just slammed out of here. And then you can see the rotation doesn't sink as much as it just kind of runs.
Well, Patterson gets one off Brandon League. The first run scored against League in his last 7 outings. Now Adam Jones. And the Orioles make it a 5-2 ball game on their 6th hit. Corey Patterson has the Orioles extra base hits today with a double and a homer. Well, Patterson back with some pop. Brandon League will miss, and a 1 ball, 1 strike count to Adam Jones. Adams 0 for 3. League's 1-1 delivery to him. Came inside, got him on the fist to foul that one off. Jones has never had a hit against League. He's 0 for 9 against him. A little home run ball in our day game today. We've had 4 of them now, 3 for Seattle, and the Orioles get 1.
Well, only 2 home runs in the first 2 games. One by Seattle in game 1, and then last night.
Seattle only had 13 homers, lowest in the majors coming in. That ball's going to get away, and Jones should make it. He will. He'll get the first base on the strikeout and the wild pitch. So a break right there for the Orioles.
Just a really good slider. You want to keep it down with 2 strikes, but it gets away from Rob Johnson. We're at base running. He's not happy about the strikeout, but he's on, and that's what you need when you're 3 runs down.
Orioles get the potential tying run into that on-deck circle. Nick Markakis will be up. He is 0 for 2 and has drawn a walk in the ball game. And let's see if the Orioles can come back on League. Markakis 1 for 4 off him. And Nick's going to get a base hit into left field. Saunders up with it, and the Orioles in the 8th. They're making it a ball game.
Well, the mission was to get Felix Hernandez out, because I tell you, he's that good. Get him out of the game. They're able to do that, and you never know what might happen.
So League getting touched up here. He has pitched in 5 of the last 6 games that Seattle's played. And Adair's going to come out, the pitching coach, check on him. There's no action yet, but they're starting to move in the bullpen. And Brandon League may be one of those days where he just doesn't have it.
Again, you know what you're going to get. It's most likely going to be something, in the 90 to 95 mile per hour range, and it's when he's pitching well going to sink. So he doesn't really slow your bat down. So if he's in the middle of the plate, and we've seen that already, the pitch to Patterson, then he makes a good pitch, and the wild pitch on the strikeout allows Adam Jones to reach, and then the fastball in the middle of the plate to Markakis. So Sean Kelly, who got loose last inning, back up throwing.
Orioles are going to try and get their first win here when they've trailed after 7. They are 0-19. 1 for 7 today with runners in scoring position. 2 on. Tejada's had an 0 for 3. That one grounded to short. Wilson, Figgins, no relay. They'll get the force out at second base.
Yeah, awfully good slide by Nick Markakis. Josh Wilson went after that like you didn't have a lead, and he's just going to turn the double play. I mean, very quick to the ball, then the snap throw. I mean, here's League doing what he's supposed to do, throw a grounder. Watch how quickly he gets to it, and then right there, Nick, no double play today. Not on this play.
So the Orioles will again turn to the man who's gotten it done for them all year. Jones on at third base, Tejada on at first, only 1 out. And Ty Wigginton at the plate. He's 2 for 5 off League. He's had a couple of hits in this game, 2 singles and an RBI. 2 for 3. 4-game hit streak now for Wigginton. 1 long ball here, and the Orioles are right back in it. Here's the 1-0 delivery to him. Wigginton will take that. It's going to miss. 2-0. Overall, 291, 10 home runs, and 21 RBIs. League and Wigginton locked into the battle. 2-0 delivery. 2-1. Double barrel action in the bullpen. Matt Albers and the closer, Alfredo Simon.
Well, it's nice to be in a position where you're 1 swing away from tying the game, and you do have the right guy up as far as hitting home runs. Well, that stat you said the other night, he hit a third. It's changed a little bit now, but a third of the home runs hit by the Orioles.
And League not happy with himself as that goes inside, and it goes to 3 balls and 1 strike.
Well, you make a good point. Sometimes when you're a power pitcher and you just can't find your release point, you end up throwing too many pitches in the middle of the plate, or you walk guys when you don't want to. You can't make the quality pitches. For Brandon, it seems like it's more down in the strike zone, let the ball naturally sink.
3-1 to Wigginton, and they're loaded. The League does not have the stuff he's had in the last few ball games here in this one. And the Orioles get him loaded up with Luke Scott coming to the plate, 1 down.
And remember, they do not have a left-hander in the bullpen, so you can't match up. I mean, you can match up with a different right-hander, but you can't match up. And that's why a lot of people think that Ryan Rowland-Smith, if they do make a pitching change, they have another left-hander, Luke French, who's pitching well down at Tacoma, but he may go to the bullpen. So look at
3 for 4, 2 RBI and a strikeout for Luke Scott against Brandon League. Left-handers 172 off League, right-handers 244. Bases loaded, 1 out. Takes it in the air, left center field. Got a lot of wood on that morning track wall. Up, it hits off the top of the wall. And goodbye home run is the signal. A grand slam home run by Luke Scott. And the Orioles have come back in the 8th inning to take a 6-5 lead.
So let's see. Walk across the desert, cold drink. I don't know what this is. Maybe the promised land right here. Look at that. Outside corner. Elevated. Great effort by Saunders. And that ball well out of the ballpark. Off the chest of a fan. Michael Saunders, a tall guy, can't get to it.
Scott waiting for the sign from the umpire. Got it. And Luke Scott's delivered the grand slam home run. And the Orioles have a 6-5 lead. And for the first time have a chance to win a ball game in which they have trailed after 7. Swung on a miss by Hughes.
The inability for Don Wakamatsu, because he doesn't have a left-hander to match up. And he could not force Dave Tremblay to make a change at the plate. I don't think he, after Scott with a home run last night, he would have done it anyway, but you would have had a better, at least statistical matchup.
Luke Scott's 6th home run. He now has 14 RBIs on the season. And the 1-2 delivery is there for a strike. Hughes is retired. And Brandon League roughed up here in the 8th so far for the 5 runs.
Well, the coaching staff in the room this morning was saying, boy, if anybody on this team really you want him to get hot, it's Luke Scott. And they saw that the first half of last season. I mean, just a monster first half. Usually he's a better second half player. It wasn't the case last year, but he can just really carry you.
2nd home run surrendered by Brandon League on the season. That makes League the pitcher of record now for Seattle. And Mark Hendrickson is the pitcher of record for the Orioles. 1-0 delivery, and that is a strike. Wieters is the 8th Oriole to hit here in the 8th inning. And Luke Scott celebrating the grand slam here that's put the Orioles up by 1. 1-1 delivery, swung out a miss by Wieters. 1 and 2. And the closer had been up anyway, so Simone will stay and get ready to come into the ball game in the 9th inning.
Oh, wishful thinking by Dave Tremblay gets him up in case you take the lead, or maybe even, and we've seen it many times in a tie ball game, to bring your closer in.
1-2 delivery on the way, and League will miss with that. And a 2-ball, 2-strike count.
And Matt Wieters, after pinch hitting and striking out, would like to add another run.
Wieters at 2-2. And that'll skip all the way back. League trying to keep himself under control here after this inning. Patterson started it out with a solo homer. Followed up with a grand slam home run by Scott. And the big play, perhaps that Jones strikeout and wild pitch that allowed Adam to reach base.
Well, the extra, out. The extra out. Well, you always talk about it, but you saw it come up today.
Second base, Figgins has got it, makes the play. The Orioles' first grand slam of the 2010 season off the bat of Luke Scott. And that's enough to give the Orioles a 1-run lead to the 9th.
Yeah, it doesn't get any tougher than this. The 1-run save. You can see 4 for 4. That's kind of a roller coaster ride sometimes. You know, great stuff last night, all over the place. But at the end of the day, got the job done. But he had a more significant closing opportunity. But again, nothing tougher than the 1-run save. And he will face, really not the, I guess, towards the bottom of the lineup. So we'll see how it goes.
Simone's got Langerhans to lead it off. Wilson and Johnson do up. They do have Griffey Jr. available on the bench as the pinch hitter if needed. Langerhans has a double. He is 1 for 3 in the ball game. Has also struck out twice. Hitting at .250. He has power. And Simone's pitch is going to be taken inside for a ball. And the Orioles did mount the late comeback, and now we'll try and hang on to it. Spoils the start of Felix Hernandez, who gave up just the 1 run on 5 hits over 7 innings. League gave up the 5 runs on 3 hits in 1 inning.
Well, we talked about it. I mean, when you're as good as Felix Hernandez, get him out of there. Take your chances. And the pitch count is what really, I think, probably made the decision.
Langerhans, 1 ball, 2 strike count on him.
Well, Simone has awfully good stuff, and Rick Kranitz, the Oriole pitching coach, is saying, you know, sometimes we don't want to speed up the bat. You really have to read the bat, and that's something that pitchers do and catchers do.
It's the Orioles' chance to win a series here if they can get this win. Second base, Bigginton. Langerhans is retired, 1 away in the 9th. Updating you on the voting for the AT&T Player of the Game. Felix Hernandez on top right now, then Ichiro and Saunders. You can text in your vote A, B, or C to 51862 with the results coming up on the O's Extra post-game show.
Well, the whole baseball worlds know how bad that start was at 2-16, but you have to go. If they win today, they'll be 6-6 in May. They will have won 9 out of the last 17 games, which certainly is a step in the right direction.
And got him. Simone just nicked Wilson. So Josh Wilson, hit by a pitch, is on, and we are going to see Griffey. Ken Griffey Jr. announced as the pinch hitter for Johnson, the catcher.
Yeah, got that 6th RBI last night with a sacrifice fly, and then able to get him to loft one to right field.
1 for 3 as a pinch hitter. Griffey hitting at an even 200. No home runs, 6 RBIs, a couple of doubles. Runner on at first base in the 9th with 1 down. And the pitch will be taken down low for a ball. Mariners have lost 1 game where they have had a lead after 7. 8-1 in those games. Orioles are trying to make it 8-2. Wilson at first. Walked himself off a pretty good lead over there, being held by Hughes. 1-0 delivery to Griffey, and he fouls that one outside of first base.
Yeah, Junior with 630 home runs, but only 2 extra base hits this year, and those are both doubles. Of course, they take one of those right here. The Orioles are looking for a ground ball that maybe end it.
1 ball, 1 strike count. Simone's delivery to Griffey will miss.
And a splitter that just fades off the plate.
Simone tends to make these saves interesting. Keeps you in the ball game. Keeps you on the front of your seat. If you're the manager, keeps your heart pounding.
Well, and the reason for that is he has great stuff, but his command can be very erratic. And you hope as he progresses through the season, because as you mentioned, this is his first year as a closer at the big leagues. They do it in the minor leagues, that he will feel more relaxed and his command will come around.
He's given up 4 walks, 6 hits, and now a hit batter in the 7 innings he's worked. He's got zeros across as far as runs are concerned. 2-1, and will be outside with it.
Well, but just think about it, though. You're doing something you've never done. You've just warmed up out in the bullpen, seen the Orioles come back with a 5-run 8th inning to take the lead. Now you have to take all this adrenaline and kind of calm it down and then go out there when your control is marginal anyway, even though you have great stuff, and somehow throw strikes. It's not an easy job. That's why not a lot of people can do it.
Griffey on the 3-1, and he draws the walk. So it gets even more interesting. One down, runners on at first and second base. And Rick Kranitz will be headed out to the mound. A pinch runner will be sent in. Adam Moore will come on to run for Griffey. He'll be the catcher. So runners at first and second, one down. Griffey drawing the walk. Only 3 surrendered, 1 each. Millwood, Hendrickson, and Simon. Mark Hendrickson is hoping to get his first win of the season. He has no record. The grand slam by that man. We'll see if it holds up here in the 9th inning.
Yeah, nobody up in the Oriole bullpen.
It's Simone's game.
Yep.
And you've got Ichiro on deck. One down. Michael Saunders has had a big series. He's homered and singled in this ball game. 2 RBIs, 2 runs scored, 4 for 11 in the series. 1 away, and Simone's pitch is going to miss outside for a ball. Got the first out, then hit Josh Wilson. Then the walk. Ken Griffey Jr. Now Will Ullman is up. Left-hander. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Swung on. Foul back. 1 ball, 1 strike count on Saunders. 7 hits in his 17 at-bats since being recalled. Heck of a finish to this one. 1 ball, 1 strike, outfield deep. Swinging on that fell off the table. 1 and 2.
Well, there's your splitter. I mean, Saunders was only hitting 200 at AAA Tacoma, but he showed me if you don't make good pitches, he is very capable of putting a good swing on it. Done that the whole series.
One and 2. Wilson off second, Moore off first. Swung on and got him. Simone gets a strikeout, and there are 2 down in the 9th inning.
So if you're Dave Tremblay, I mean, just a good running fastball down and away, or maybe it was a splitter. It looked like a fastball, but it just bottoms out, so it's probably a split-figure fastball.
So here's the matchup. This is baseball drama at its best with 2 down in the 9th inning and his team down by a run. Here's Ichiro. He has homered and singled. 2 for 3 and a walk. League's 8th best average, 3rd most hits, and 1 very tough out. And a strike on the inside corner.
Right here, first of the year, 2-0 pitch. And Kevin Millwood disappointed. Well, the Orioles said if you're trying to get him out, Gary, you want to do exactly what he just did. Up and in. If you can get it there.
0-1 delivery to him down the line, left field. That'll be a foul ball.
Because everything else is pretty hittable. And if you're going to throw him that splitter, and Matt Wieters is coming out to have a little conversation, it better not be a strike. Just, keep it underneath the strike zone if you can.
All you got to do is retire the guy who's got the all-time leading batting average against the Orioles, has the all-time leading batting average in this ballpark.
And is going to the Hall of Fame.
343, and you got to get him out in the 9th inning. Simone, 0-2 delivery. Down the hole, that is a base hit. Patterson up. Wilson coming. Here's the throw. Wieters a tag. He's out. The Orioles win. Corey Patterson to Matt Wieters. And the final out of the game is recorded at the plate. And this one is in the book for the O's as they win it 6-5.
Well, there you go. Perfect throw. Look at this tag. I mean, Wilson can run. Look at this. On the money, on the fly. And then the great tag by Matt Wieters.
The Orioles celebrate as the grand slam by Luke Scott stands up. With a little defensive help, the Orioles have beaten the Mariners and